Avisa quando tiver gente. Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone! Welcome
We're
to
back.
today's webinar. We're back! Yes, and ready to get started.
Yes. Should we wait one more minute until we have the round the clock here?
So it's 12 noon precisely? Okay, we can wait 1 minute, Shahar. That's all
One
I'm
minute.
giving.
Yes. You know, we tried to do this last week, remember? It was very traumatic.
Yes, it was quite the technological universe was conspiring against us.
Yeah, we have no clue what happened, right? But it kicked us out, wouldn't allow us back in, so we couldn't do it. That's why you are going to be watching the webinar we were supposed to have done last week. And we hope today nothing goes wrong. We checked everything on our end. But in case anything goes wrong and we leave you for a moment or two, we will be back. Just be sure you refresh the page after a few minutes. But we hope nothing goes wrong this time. I
No.
I light some candles, some incense.
Yes, we did all of that.
Yes. You will also have your host today with this Darth Vader sexy kind of voice. And because I can't stop coughing and
Well, no, but you're doing so much better than last week. I
you
mean,
think so?
last week, yeah, your voice, you
Uh,
last week you were, hello, I'm Shahar.
yeah, you know, people
Like you
say
were,
things when I do like that. And I lost my voice for 2 days. They was totally gone, no, too.
that
So
was a blessed day. Oh
yeah,
my.
you like that very much, right?
Yes,
And I
yes.
had interviews and everything, and okay. And Nash,
Mm,
the questions today. So we are going to answer the questions at the end of the call. People are welcome to submit the questions on the chat, and then we have them on a queue. So the sooner you submit your questions, actually, the better. But
yep.
we'll submit at the end, and it's very easy, right, Nash? It's just to put a
Yeah. At the on the Buzz Booster Live on that page, there's a little chat box right below the video. Type in your questions over there. I'm checking them and keeping track of them over here on my end. At the end of the call, we'll answer all of it.
exactly. And one more thing, we have a surprise at the end of the call as well,
Yes,
right?
very cool surprise.
So
Hmm.
be sure to be hooked all the time. Okay, so
Yep.
let's start. Let's see what we are going. Never saw this presentation before, even if you have attended the others that we gave in the last few weeks. So how to become the go-to celebrity, the market revolution, what's really happening in the market and why it's that important, what works and what doesn't, the powerhouse the celebrities can become, and how that really does 17 different revenue channels that you can incorporate in whatever business you already have without a lot of effort whatsoever. It's a choice. This is Nash. We are a mother and daughter team. We've been working together for a very long time to Buzz Booster TV has been going on, I believe, for about 6 years, if I'm not wrong, and Spill the Beans TV, that is about 3 or 4 years old as well. Buzz Booster TV, when TubeMogul used to list all the web to be the 40 in the top 40 in the education category, which was people above us was GoDaddy with French Made TV. Celebrities in my life, I've been here in Salt Lake for 10 years now, but before that, I lived in Brazil. And for 20 years, I worked on TV in several capacities. I directed some shorts for TV specials. I had two talent agencies, and they were two of the biggest talent agencies there. One of them was called Phoenix and specialized in young talent. So usually from babies to 15, 16. Sell more than the traditional model. And the reason behind that is because we can create an engagement in a level that the model cannot. Like if I'm overweight, for example, and you were watching and you were overweight, it's kind of we have something in common, we understand each other. That was a very successful talent agency. I think it was open, I don't know, maybe 8 years or so. We had overweight people, people with big noses, some characteristic that we could create contrast, which is a topic today for you to become a celebrity, because we need contrast in order for people to pay attention. Even when we came here, like 15 days before we jump on the plane, we were watching TV and we saw on one channel an interview we had done like 3 years before, and they were still doing reruns. So it was a huge hit. So I made many people become celebrities and even change their lives, because of course then they switch it to only being actors. The people I had in my talent agents, they were not actors before. They had no training before. It was just a matter of packaging. We're going to talk a lot about that. Now, Andy Warhol said, everyone will have 15 minutes of fame. Right? You heard that before. But my question to you is, why stop at 15 minutes? You can have a lot more than that. Today, much more than before. So focus that you can become a celebrity and stay a celebrity for a very long time. And being a celebrity opens doors for you that are usually closed to other people. All kinds of stuff. From simple things like being invited to all types of events, which Natalie and we love because we get to travel a lot with that. But really being the top leader in your field, in the society that you play a part on, which is very good, because then people will really pay attention to our advice. You're going to see that we talk a lot about attention, and that is because, especially in marketing today, people go a lot after visibility, and that is important. But the fact is that if you have 30,000 people on your Twitter account, and when you ask them something simple as attend a free webinar, nobody shows up. What is that telling you? It's telling you that people are not paying attention to you. So what's the use of visibility without attention? It's actually useless, right? You have that visibility, but nobody pays attention.
You know, I like it that you say that, because that's exactly what happens a lot of times. People will focus so much on the numbers, which of course matter, but they're not the end of it, right? And so, I have 30,000 Twitter followers and this and that. But listen, just like you said, Shahar, if you post something and no one responds, no one hears it, and they're not paying attention, it's what value do those numbers really have?
Yes, and when we think about the market, we are here in the U.S., not only because the economy is not as it used to be, but also because people as a whole, they are overflooded with information. So you, for example, if you're a coach, a speaker, a consultant, you are in the business of selling information, you have noticed that in the last few years, actually, it has been a lot more difficult. Why? Because people think they have all type of information, in the stroke of a few keys, which we know is not even true, because then they have to filter through all that, but they just don't want. Then they are overloaded with that information, which you don't know, but the brain runs on a very low battery. Remember how much is that battery, Nash?
The brain runs on 9 watts. That's the same, just put it in perspective, which I think is really cool, that's 1/3 more of the energy that the light bulb inside of your fridge uses.
Yeah,
so just think about that, because the light in your fridge is very faint.
Exactly. So you see that attention to the brain is actually currency. It's like money. It cannot pay attention to anything because it would spend a lot of energy. And the body actually would freeze. It would not be able to move if we were able to pay attention to everything. So we have to really filter what we are going to pay attention to. So attention for us is what we are after as business owners.
I like that. Attention is like currency to the brain. Keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Write that down. Now, you've seen before the numerous celebrities have become very good entrepreneurs. So you have many examples. We know Gene Simmons from Kiss, for example, that they have everything out there. But today we are living in a moment that actually entrepreneurs can become celebrities. So you can really switch a little bit how things are done. And of course, the more famous you are, the more you can make money. And if that's important to you, great, because it allows you actually to capitalize in several different formats. We see celebrities every day selling the pictures of their babies for millions of dollars. So that happens every time. And also, it separates you from the crowd. You're not like everybody else. And that's, again, very important because, I don't want to sound to snob or anything, but puts you in an elite society. It's just a different place. Or as in marketing, we say you find that spot where you are the leader, you are unique, okay? And that's very important. It's an easy way actually to do that. And of course, if you are in your own place, in your own blue ocean, it's competition free, and that, my friend, is really worth the small effort that you really have to put into becoming a celebrity, because then you're competition free, and you know very well how that is important for a business. And it's easier to achieve than you might think. You might think celebrity is something difficult, only very special people, very special actors get, but no, because we also have a different market today. And we are not talking about you becoming celebrity of millions and millions of people, because even media today is fragmented. Right? You have different distribution channels, different ways to put your word out there, and many times you become a celebrity in a smaller environment.
And that can have exactly, and that can have so much more power because think about it. Now these people, they know specifically what you are about, and they're about that. You share this common interest. They know what they're going to get when they come to you, and then therefore they become a lot more attentive to what you have to say. And so it's so much more powerful. Long gone are the days of let's just throw mud to the wall and see what sticks.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to be that way anymore.
Yes, even traditional TV, you see today how they put very specific shows about construction, about storage and things like that attracts a smaller audience that they are used to, but it's still a very good audience. So that's an important mindset shift that you have to have. You are not going after millions and millions of viewers, followers, readers, because that doesn't matter. It's the right type of audience that will see you as a celebrity. Okay, that's very important.
I like to use an example of when I first got Apple. What? You
froze for a second.
Oh, when we first got Apple, we would take her to the dog park, and we would call her, and she would never come. So some people said, you should buy this whistle, that when you whistle, you won't hear anything. When you blow in it, you won't hear anything, but your dog will because of the higher frequency. And so we did it, and it worked a few times, and she still doesn't come when we call. But anyway, what I think of when you say that, I think of it like that whistle, because when you have your message very specific, you are. And so they hear it. The other people might hear it also, but they hear it very loudly.
Can I go on? Okay, so now when you become a celebrity, the perception of value changes. Perception of value is very important for you to understand. When people talk to you, when they see you, when they approach you in a network meeting, for example, the way you package yourself will send them a message, right? And then they are going to base how valuable you are according to that. So we call that perception of value. Well, when you put yourself in that blue ocean, you are not a commodity. You are not as everybody else. So therefore, price doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're charging more than people around your area, because again, perception of value is different in this case. So very important point when you work to become a celebrity, to understand that price elasticity will happen a lot more. And you also create contrast with your competition. Okay, contrast is very important to the brain. Brain likes contrast. Why? Because it spends less energy when it sees something really different than the other, like black and white. It already gets what it is. So it's important for us when we are marketing to create that contrast so they can see right away, the brain can see right away that you're different than your competition. How we do that? We can do that in the way you dress, in the way you put your hair, in the way you talk, to whom you talk, and then you can create that contrast. More later about that. Like I said, it also creates the real engagement with your audience. You know, we hear that word quite a bit, but very few people can really tell you what is engagement when we are creating marketing pieces. Well, it's how really the audience connects with you on an emotional level. We have to have that in mind. We always need to be talking to the heart first. And you know, packaging yourself to become a celebrity is something that you are going to pay attention to, as well as storytelling. Uh, Now, let's pause for a moment and think about this, because you might think, okay, but celebrity can be far-fetched. I'm just a dentist, or I'm a coach, or something like that. Understand one thing: if you are in business, you are in show business. You have to pay attention to every single touch point that you have with your audience. Every single one. The moment they see you, they listen to your voice, to your message in your recording. All those things are marketing pieces, and they all have to send one specific message. So it is show business.
And they're
And you,
all so and they're all so important and matter so much, and oftentimes people don't realize that. They think
Mhm.
that it's just about when I meet the person or when I'm delivering my products or services, but the entire process, the entire choreography, as we like to say it, matters so much in the perception and how well they're going to elevate you as the expert.
Yes. You know, we like to watch a TV show called Selfridges. And it's about a story in London. It's a fantastic story, actually. And the owner understood the fact that you are in show business when you are in business. So he would put events, he would, even the things that he displayed, the way he allows people to touch. This was a story in 1906. Everything mattered. And he saw that as show business. We always tell our clients that as a business owner, you every now and then need to put a component of entertainment in your business. It can be simple things as the way you display the chocolate and the coffee in your office, to more sophisticated things, but there's got to be some component of entertainment. So, you know, we are all in show business. Let's be the star of that show.
You know what? Embrace that, right, Shahar? Embrace
Yes.
it, because it is. Business is about, it is a show in a way, right? And so
Yeah.
embrace it. And by the way, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but since you mentioned it,
Mm.
Selfridges, Mr. Selfridge, we've been watching that. I really like that show. It's not only very interesting and entertaining, it's so cool to read the story because it's based on a true story, and it's so cool to see what he did. And like what you said, Shahar, the fact that he basically, and he was the guy he would do these things where he'd have these
Crazy thing.
events in his stores
Yeah.
to bring in people, and that was unheard of, and some people very against it, but did so much to his store and became so huge as a result. So
Yes.
think of your business as show business.
Now, we talked about Andy Warhol. Let me talk now about Aristotle. And I'm going to go deep, and I speak fast. So, guys, if you have any questions, please start putting there so we can see the rhythm that we need to keep here. Okay. Aristotle said that for real engagement, he didn't, didn't use that word. You have to be persuasive, and memorable. These are two key points that you have to think and incorporate: persuasive, and memorable. He called ethos, pathos, and logo. And I'm not going to explain what it is, each one of them, but the key point, and write that down. Content, and content is everything you put your voice on. It can be your blog post, for example, should have an ethical appeal, an emotional appeal, or a logical appeal. So it goes like this. When you put something out there, even yourself, you enter a room, right? People will look at you and they will think, huh, she's credible and worthy. It appeals to me. I cannot explain. It's on an emotional level, but the way she smiles, it appeals to me. It makes sense to me. and then they stop and pay attention. Okay, so needs to have an ethical appeal, an emotional appeal, or a logical appeal. We tend to use a lot of logical appeal. We give numbers, right? So if I'm talking about the Boomerology show and I'm trying to sell a sponsorship, I can say, well, did you know the baby boomers in the U.S. hold 77% of the national wealth? So I'm going for the logical appeal. But I could go the emotional one. As a baby boomer, when is it that you feel left out? When you go to a store and they don't even consider you as a customer because maybe they think you're too old. What are your feelings? Would you like to change that? You see, so I have an emotional approach. But those components need to be there, the ethical, the emotional, or the logical. Okay? And if you put a memory-inducing trigger, is also very important. People use this in many different ways. Sometimes it's the way they talk. They use the same words over and over. For example, we had a live event some years ago, and we had a fantastic speaker, a lawyer. And one thing that he would do is every now and then when he was speaking on stage, he had his products on his hand. He would talk about something, and when he was making a point, he would touch that product and make a noise. Every single time, hundreds of times. Perfect, because he was saying that the solution was in his products, and he would do this movement over and over again. And you can do, for example, Mary Smith from Facebook, many of you know her. She uses the same color all the time. It is a memory-inducing trigger. So there are many ways of doing that. She became a celebrity because of social media and because of Facebook. So you can use in many, many different ways. It depends a lot on your personality because everything needs to be created about who you are, of course. Now,
another memory example, Shahar, and this is overused, and I've mentioned it several times, but we see it a lot, for instance, with real estate agents when they're showing a house and they put in the cookies in the oven or the cinnamon rolls, because that smell will induce memories, and usually positive memories of your childhood and comforts, and so similar thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. Now, it's always your choice. You can say, it sounds that I have to do things different. That's okay. But you can always choose to be behind an email, sending emails and thinking that someday things are going to work. Or you can be the whole day on Facebook posting and thinking that by leaving tips, that will be enough to make your business grow. I can assure you that's not nearly enough. And it is not, because most people are doing exactly the same. Now, you are going to see that we focus a lot on videos, and in a second I'm going to talk about the importance of you having your unique voice, and you have different media to choose. But videos are very, very powerful for many reasons, and one of them is the fastest way to reach your clients and a large audience. So you have to think that when you put yourself in front of a camera, you are an instant celebrity. They don't question if it's the first video you're putting out or number 200. It really doesn't matter. People don't question that. But the moment you're on camera, things shift. So I'm just going to ask you to consider video, even though you think, oh, but I only make my hair once a week, or I don't have a face for video, or this or that. Remember, I know a lot about not having a face for a camera. I made hundreds of celebrities exactly out of that factor. They didn't fit the profile of what you would think could go on a TV commercial to sell products in millions of dollars, right? So that is a mindset shift that needs to happen. The camera not only puts you as an instant celebrity, but people start to value more your opinion. Because you're a celebrity, whatever you say is true. It's really almost the same as when you are on stage. They never question if you have an MBA or not. Even if you have a degree, you're on the stage, and whatever you say, they take it as, they will still think I agree or I don't agree, but they value your opinion. You are the instant expert in this case, right? So the being in front of the camera gives you more value and creates a deeper connection with the audience. You're seeing me as I am. You may like it, you may not like it, but you see my style, you see that I talk to my hands, you see that I don't wear a lot of makeup, you see as it is. And that is either going to create a connection or send you away. But if you're if it sends you away, you're not my audience, and that's totally okay. We can still be friends.
And if it sends you away, it does it faster so that you don't
Yes.
end up wasting your time with someone who will never give you the status or the business that you desire from them, depending on the case. And so keep that in mind. And if you're still stuck on, oh, I don't have a face for the camera, like Shahar said, you know, with funny faces, she used to get really weird people and make them celebrities. But ultimately, because it shows the individual, the person that's on the other side, that they can do too. You know, when you have celebrities and people that you admire, it is because in some way or another you want to be like them. And so by doing it yourself, you're showing them that it's possible and that they can do it too, and you become an inspiring factor for them.
So let me give you the formula to become a celebrity. So you write that down because it's really simple. You know, you just need to work on each step so you can become a celebrity in your field. So first of all, irresistible promise. If you've been with us for a few years, or if you've known us, you know we talk a lot about that. We all need to provide a irresistible promise to our market first. You know, it's our purpose. Why are we doing this? And how is it going to impact whoever is listening, reading, or watching your content? Okay, what's your purpose? But purpose can become a very individualistic thing. So I like to say, what's your irresistible promise? What are you really promising them on an emotional level? If that's not there, nothing will happen. Okay. Second, appeal. What's the appeal you have to that market? We're going to talk more about that. Then your unique voice. That's a point we always talk about. You know, you have to be extremely careful not to try to mimic other people and do exactly what other people are doing. You see waves of that happening right now. That's happening with audio podcasts. Everybody's copying the same formula. Be careful. Find how you would really like to put yourself out there with your personality, like Oprah, like Dr. Phil, like Dr. Oz, like Rush Limbaugh, like a lot of other people, right? Because they have their own unique way of expressing themselves. They are never going to appeal to everybody, but they are going to appeal to their right audience. So don't try to be nice to everybody. There's a saying in business that if nobody hates you, you're doing something wrong. Okay, embrace that. People sometimes will not agree with what you say. They will leave nasty comments. There are haters out there that have nothing to do but hate you. That's totally okay. You still have to have your own voice out there, and you have to craft that so people start really looking forward. You know, it's funny now, even in our business, we have some words that we use over and over and over, like irresistible promise, and we have been using for many years. And many times we get a new prospect and then we start talking to them, and they proudly start saying, my unique promise, my irresistible promise is this. The way I'm going to incorporate mystery and rituals in our business, in my business, is this. So they use our lingo. Lingo can be very powerful, and it can be part of your appeal. So you need to craft that with your unique voice. And then you need a platform. You need to have a structure where you put the word out. And yes, you have to have social media, Facebook, Twitter, all of that, but I see those as broadcasting tools. I focus on something that I'm good at, and that's where my energy goes. And when that piece is ready every week, I use social media to broadcast. And so far, it has been working great for us. So never be the echo, always be the voice. Find the media you can become really good at. So this platform, you have to choose. It's not that you cannot do all of them, but one of them you're going to have to become very good at. Usually you have the choice of text, audio, and video, right? The choice here is which one are you going to be comfortable doing for a very long time? Because consistency is what's key here for you to have success. Not if it's text, audio, or video. That you can choose. That you can choose. So you think you could be a great author, write a great book, maybe many, possibly many. Go with text, no problem. Audio, maybe the audio podcast is your way, a radio show, an online radio show, or videos. Now, the important part is which one would you be comfortable doing for a very long time? Okay, that's the key point. The second is there are some that work really fast. There are others that don't tend to work very fast or require a lot of budget on your part. making a book become a bestseller, it's not an easy process, nor is it inexpensive, unless you have very, very strong partners. So you have to take all those things into consideration. Here we are going to focus on you without a big budget, how you get to be a celebrity. But you can choose either of them. Now, eventually, book is a great platform. I don't see any reason why not have a book. You have. It also puts you at the status of expert, so you should have one. But there are ways to get that done really fast. But remember, you want more than the expert status, right? You want celebrity status.
So Shahar, before you move on deeper into that, because I know that you will, I'd like to go against your own advice and echo what you just said, because I really like it. So what you said, never be the echo, always be the voice. I think that's fabulous. Think about that. Let it simmer. Write it down and embrace it. Never be the echo, be the voice. And then what you said, Shahar, about picking something, Amita, that you're really good at and focusing on it so that you're not burning yourself out doing a gazillion different things and doing them poorly. Pick one that you're excellent at and be phenomenal at it and do it consistently.
Yes. Now, I think it was Einstein that said, be the voice, not the echo. I'm not sure. One thing that I think is crucial, we believe that an entrepreneur should have control over its business. We have said that so many times to people, because if you don't have control over your business, you don't have a business. And the reason we start saying that was years ago, we seen people outsourcing every single thing online to them. They were outsourcing their voice, and this is happening right now as well. A lot of people now with content marketing go and hire people to do their blog posts and write everything for them, and they have to be careful because that's their voice and that's being outsourced. And we used to say, if you don't have control over that, you don't have a business online. You are fooling yourself. And if that voice goes away, you're in deep trouble. But today it's much more than that. It's really that you have to control your own media. So you have to have a platform and a way to distribute that. You have to control, and today that's so easy, right? You can choose what are you going to control. In book, you can say, I'm going to self-publish my book, so I don't have to ask for permission from a traditional distributor to publish my book, or a podcast, or a radio. What really counts here is that you control that, because if you control that, you can control from beginning to end what's going to happen to that. Before I go on, remember we were talking about you choosing between being behind an email or really creating something that you can control. A lot of people talk about having a lifestyle business. Well, again, it's a choice, and I don't see lifestyle business about cars and boats that I have. I really don't care about those things, but I consider a lifestyle if I see a Wednesday and it's sunny outside and I know there are baby foxes someplace. I can leave in the middle of the day, go take pictures of those foxes without feeling guilty or having my income impacted by that. And one of the things that allows us that, of course, are the shows that we have, right? Because we have sponsors, we get paid, and other speaking engagements and other things. Another thing that I have about the control is the prices. I decide how much I want to charge for whatever service, appearance, or whatever that comes my way, and not the market. Because it's terrible when you meet somebody that has a lot of potential, and I have met hundreds of fantastic public speakers and coaches and all kinds of professions, and they are always thinking, oh, but here in town I can only go up to $70 an hour. And I was thinking, why? I'm leaving the same town, right? It doesn't have. You're brilliant. You have knowledge. You could be putting out that. You would be impacting lives. Why do you have to decide how much you charge on the market and not on your value? You put the value. Right? You know how much your information is valuable to the market, how much it can really impact. Well, when you're a celebrity, that becomes a lot easier because people don't really question that, right? So important to see. Another thing, go ahead.
I will say this, a lot of that, Shahar, a lot of times, many times, in fact, most of the times, it's internal. It's a problem up here first. It's just the way that we're looking at it, and we're not giving ourselves enough credit and realizing that we are what we are. That we just need to embrace it.
Yeah. And another thing that I like, Nash, and I know you like it too, is that when you're a celebrity, you can pick and be picky about choosing clients. I remember the beginning, we had to take whatever clients came our way, right? So we could not choose. It was I either get this client or I don't pay my bills. And unfortunately, there are people that are very difficult to deal with and takes life away from you. You get home and you cannot sleep because of that client. They become a nightmare, and it takes the fun out of the business for both of us. Fun is important. It's important that we have fun every day. It's part of us. And when you go to an office or when you go meet with clients, even in a computer, and you really dreading that, well, you have to keep asking you, so why am I doing this? They take the fun away.
Yeah,
So
it takes the energy away many times. And so the fact that when you become a celebrity, you can be a lot more selective of who you're working with, it gives you so much more joy, because not only you can focus and really enjoy the experience with that specific client, but
mhm.
it gives you energy and the shuts, like the shutzpah, I guess that's the expression, like the willingness to keep doing it allows you to focus, allows you to go in depth. It's so much better.
Yeah, it is. And then there's also gifts in the mail. If you like that, that's cool. Last week we got a box full of chocolate bars. It was amazing gourmet chocolate. We loved it. A week before we got something that is a brush that we can use in our bathtub. Our dog, she writes in our magazine. She gets a ton of stuff in the mail. It's amazing. She's a celebrity to her own niche here. She even gets phone calls. So if you like those things, those are part two. The gold, my friend. So now I told you that you had to choose between text, video, or audio. For me, the gold really today lies on on-demand TV. And if we had another hour, I would be happy to go deep into how this is shifting the market in every single level you can think of. We just came back from National Association of Broadcasters, and we were looking at huge TV stations all around the world, 95,000 people attending, exactly talking about all this shift in the market, all this shift in consumption, how people how they have to digitalize everything and put on multi-platform distribution centers, because they all know it's happening, but we don't have the time to go in details about that. All I can tell you is this is where the market is going. Now it's the age of digital content, because it allows you to really be everywhere. So whenever your audience wants to listen to the topic you talk about, they can get whatever they have on their hands, be their phones, their tablets, they're sitting on the couch, it doesn't matter. They can consume that content. And the reach that you can have is unbelievable. You know that, even on YouTube, if you're doing YouTube videos, you have over 1 billion people watching those. But understand one fundamental thing, with YouTube specifically, here we are talking about several different ways of you putting on-demand content out there, but it's an open social network. If you're one of those people that you spend the whole day on Facebook putting tips and everything, understand this. If you have 5,000 friends and that's all you can have, you can reach them and reach their audience, right? So whoever is connected with them, if you're lucky, because with all the algorithms, if you're not willing to put money to boost your post, that decreases every single day. Even if you use your personal profile to promote yourself, depending on the amount of posts you post every day, it decreases because they have the spam factor. Follow Robert Scoble, for example, and you will learn a lot more about that. What I'm trying to tell you is that your posts are not showing as you may think they are. They are not. Well, when you have videos, all video platforms and YouTube, a social network, they are open. Whoever types the right keywords can have access to your video. So you can increase that reach very, very, very fast. Even with a book, yes, it can be distributed to all the few bookstores now you have in the country, or it can be on Amazon, but all the population that does not go to Amazon, how you reach them. So it's a slow, I'm not saying it's not very important, it is, but it's a slower process. With video, you can cut that. So, I think it depends on your age. If you have all that time to spend, you can start from a slower process, but videos can make that go everywhere very, very fast. Don't forget also that everybody likes to watch video. You ask yourself, how many short videos have you watched this week alone, even though we are only at the beginning of the week? But think about it. You see on all the now I did an Italian way. Think about it. You watch videos all the time. It's easy. Everybody knows how to push play. So why not? And it's your unique opportunity actually to be online and on traditional TV at the same time, because the couch potato that buys from infomercials and have and they know how the process works. They have been buyers for a very long time. They can be on their TV watching what you're doing, and you can go and say, I'm a TV show host, because yes, you are. You have many ways of monetizing. We are going to go into that. And you can monetize with your existing business. This is not a business opportunity that you start and build on the side to make money. Not even close. It's just something that you can incorporate if you choose to. And it is different than web TV. Okay? Web TV focus only on the online environment. Today, there is no reason for you to be only on online, because you have these other platforms to distribute, like Roku, for example. So you don't have to. I don't want to go into technical details, but you can really be everywhere. And by everywhere, I also mean the whole world. Not only online, but on TVs. And that's a great thing, because you have their undivided attention. Remember when we talked that attention is currency to the brain? The fact is that I bet many of you are watching this webinar at the same time you're checking your email, you're commenting on Facebook, and doing other things. 100% sure, because we all like to multitask. The problem is the brain cannot really multitask. It's impossible. So we have to sacrifice some attention. You're either sacrificing this amazing content that I'm handing to you, or you're sacrificing the attention you're paying in your email or something else that you're doing. Now, when you're watching something like this on TV, you have undivided attention, right? So it's just you. They're not browsing through 3 different shows. That's not possible at the moment when they're watching one, right? So that undivided attention is worth gold. And yes, you're not going probably to have millions of views like it's possible on YouTube, but you're going to have the right type of views. Us, for example, the other day, we got this email from a couple from Oregon, Amy and Mike, if I'm not wrong, and she was just telling us how she bought a Roku box during Christmas. There are 5 million of them now in the U.S. alone, Europe and Canada and Africa. And she said, we found your channel and we found the show and we love it, and we start, exchanging emails, and they have this huge and beautiful vacation property in Oregon. They invited us to spend a week there, and it's just a fantastic opportunity, especially because we like nature photography. So you see all these things that happen. Now, I don't have millions of viewers on YouTube, and I really don't care about that. Even YouTube understands that different types of content have different thresholds for what they call viral. So, for example, a cat, a band, music, comedy, you have to reach the millions on YouTube to become what they say it's viral. But they understand, for example, business videos. If you are around 2,000, sometimes even lower, they already see you as a viral video, and then they start featuring you in their category. So, we tend to go on the wrong mindset and think that's only possible to those few people because, they are different, and we don't see that that's very, very doable to us. I just want to tell you another perk of on-demand TV as a whole. And by on-demand TV is the same video that you would do as a tip. Doesn't have anything else other than that. Not produced videos. Speaking on emotional level, remember your package, the whole thing, that's important. Any camera that you have, even your cell camera, the iPhone today has lens and everything if you want to go fancy, but an iPhone or a smartphone, all it takes. So no production costs and things like that here. You don't need, and they will not impact the viewership. You need to have good sound, but you don't need to invest a lot at all. But the main thing here is, you start as a celebrity to be the star of your own show. And you can design that content to a specific niche or even a sub-niche. We have a show host that is doing extremely well, and she talks about Montessori education. And it's an extremely narrow audience that, pay attention to this fact, they don't tend to use technology very much. Okay, they don't like to be online. They are very hands-on. They like crafts, scrapbooking, and things like that. It's the nature of those teachers. Well, guess what? Her show is going gangbusters. It's really doing extremely well, and it's, I think, on the 3rd episode, right? In the thousands already. We tell people, oh, the first few shows only your mother will watch that, right? It's that the normal process. She's getting a lot of traction. Why? Because it's a very specialized message to a very specialized group. You're going to say something, Irish?
No, but lucky for me, my mother always watches the first few shows. Uh, so, Shahar, I like what you've said so far. I want to reinforce the thing about the attention, about the niche, the fact, like for instance, what you mentioned with the Montessori, the fact that it's a niche, it's very defined, who the audience that she's reaching and all of that, and so now she speaks at a higher level to these people because they really understand and resonate with what she's talking about. The fact that you said about I haven't interacted with you in a little while, so I have a lot to say, but the fact that you mentioned about not going super fancy, not having to go super fancy, I think is a great point because it's true. Listen, if you have the equipment, if you have the studio, the camera, all that, go for it. Do it. Make it snazzy. But the fact is that you don't need to, in order to become a celebrity, you don't need to, in order to become successful at this, you don't need to have the super produced, overly produced, expensive equipment and all that. A simple phone camera will do if you have one, right? Just the willingness and the message and knowing who you're talking to will be enough to get you started and to put out quality, phenomenal content and make it so that you become the celebrity. And so it's a great thing. It's just a matter of doing it.
Yes, yes, yes. And even in her case, for example, she's even used some footage that she had from 10 years ago. And
Yes,
it's working really. So you can
that's
repurpose
right.
the whole content. So, and that's what we told her. She had all these interviews and stuff that she did for herself. They're not great. Some are, have sound problems. But she's, chopping those, adding her now, and it's working.
She's
Okay.
utilizing it, saving so much time, but getting that message across, which ultimately matters the most.
Yes, even if you have audio, you can add some pictures to that, turn that into a video, and put it out there. It's not the best format, but it can be done. So you should pay attention that you can repurpose whatever you have. Targets your ideal client in a very special way, but it also reaches three different audiences. Why? Because you're offline, you're downloadable, and you are online. So you get the people that are online, the YouTube crowd. You get the downloads, the podcast viewers, right? That today they can watch anywhere, and iTunes audience specifically, they tend to be very well educated. They tend to spend money. They are buyers. They buy music and books there, and then you get the couch potato that buys from infomercial. So one shot, one effort, multiple results. It's always important in business. You can be seen in any type of screen that you can think of. It's easy and fun because you can allow interaction with viewers and interaction with presenters as well. So it's not just I'm the expert, I'm telling you what to do. You have to turn that into a conversation. There are shows that they do that very, very well. There is one, the Huff Live, I believe is the name on Google Plus. Simple thing. They are talking about a topic. They ask the audience to give their 2 cents, and they record with Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts alone can be what we are doing right now. It's being recorded to YouTube. We didn't have to touch but one button, and it could be repurposed into a show. So very, very, easy to do, and allows interaction, which is the best. Like here, you have the chat. If you ask questions and I answer, all that is taped. So allows not just a one-way communication in the sense that the expert tells people what to do is kind of really old and not
Yeah.
working as well as it should.
Yeah, one-way communication, profit type of thing. It's old school. It's not the cool way anymore. And one other thing that I think it provides, that I think it's a phenomenal thing, it allows you to expand outside your market. So many times, let's say if you live in a rural area, that's a hard word for me. That's a brutal word
Yes, I
for
know.
me. But anyway, if you live in a location where it's kind of off, or you don't have many experts, or people in your industry aren't necessarily there, the wonderful thing about this is you're able to reach out to people nationwide, worldwide, and record them easily, and it's so good for that.
Yes, and on-demand access is the big thing, and is also why the TV industry, the broadcasters are trying to change, because allows you to be seen anywhere, anytime, and that's gold. Believe it or not, most of those broadcasters do not have their content digitalized, and so what's happening quite often right now is actually they see shows like ours and they buy those shows because it's easier for them to start providing, and they go for very specialized topics as well. So on demand is really the convenience of the viewer. It's the new way. We like to binge. We don't like to wait one whole week to watch an episode so on that specific day and time. We like to watch whenever we like to watch. Like Selfridges is on Sunday. I watched mine yesterday. That's how it's done today. Any industry can have an on-demand show. Any industry. Think about what you see on TV today. Don't you have the storage wars? Don't you have people that are pickers and they go find treasures in barns? Then you have construction. You have doctors, quite a few. Chefs. Cooking is a huge topic always. So you have any industry can be adapted to that. So take that out of your mind as well. No super high fees to start your show. You're not paying the TV slot and the grid and everything else. Commercials, you decide how you want to run that. No geographic boundaries. So if you only sell in the US, that's totally okay, but your show will still be watched everywhere. Like I said, most of the boxes today, US, Canada, Europe, Roku also has Africa and Asia now. And he can provide you several streams of income. So let's talk a little bit, and I'm going to go fast on that one. We only have 10 minutes. Revenue model. So write that down so you remember later. First of all, and remember I said you can incorporate. Let's suppose you were a dentist and you have your practice, right? Or you are a massage therapist, or you are a chiropractor. Well, you know that at some point in life you're going to become tired, right? Like chiropractors and massage therapists, they use their muscles a lot. They have to retire at some point. It's difficult. And if they are the only source of revenue, it's complicated, right? It's ideal when you have multiple sources of revenue. Not only that, some of them are recurring models of revenue. When we work with clients one-on-one, we try always to structure. It doesn't matter. We have manufacturers. We have all types of clients. We try to create at least 7 different channels of revenue, some of them being recurring. We just did that with a client of ours who has been working with us for over 7 years, and the industry had a huge shift, the health industry, and we had to act very fast, and we created a continuity program with the dealers that they have. So that's always possible. It can be incorporated anytime. What I'm proposing here is that you have your own demand TV show, and you incorporate some of these. You don't have to have all of them, but the ones you feel comfortable, and you incorporate, so that adds extra income, and most of them are recurring income. So for example, number 1 is sponsorship. Sponsorships for your show. Believe me, that does not depend on the number of viewers that you have. That's the first misconception everybody has. We, for Bumerology Reviewed, for example, we got our first sponsors just talking about the show. We didn't even have a pilot. That's common. Even Netflix today works without pilots. We just said, this idea, this audience, this is your audience, this is how much a month. So it's very doable. The second sponsor we got, also not a big problem about the viewership. It was still small. After all, it has only 11 episodes at this point, but it didn't matter the reach we had on social media. That's an important, they all ask about that. How many Facebook, how many Twitters, followers you have, this kind of stuff. Now prices, they are all over the board. We do not count hours by number of downloads because it's distributed to a variety of places, so that wouldn't be a very good way to track anyway. So you put the value that you think. So I'm going to give you the ones we have today for our show, okay? And then you base and you think my value has more than that. Of course, as viewership increases, that price will increase. But that has never been a topic actually in our conversations with possible sponsors. We are about to close another one in Canada. Again, that was not the point. There were 10 other things that he wanted, but the viewership was not the point. Number. Reach is important. Sponsorship for 1,000 to, I said I was going fast, right? No, stay 5 minutes just here. 1,000 to 4,000 per episode is what we charge. How did we base that? I based on what I think is the value for the show as it is. One point that I give to them every single time is that every single episode it's going to stay forever, right? Because it gets indexed online, it's for downloads on iTunes. So it's going to, if not forever, for a very long time. That's a crucial point. People that understand advertising, they understand that when they buy TV, they buy one slot, one insertion. Gone, it's gone, right? And here is very different. That's a very good selling point. Ads on your show blog, so you don't put on the show in itself, but on the blog, 500 to 1,500. Product placement is something that people love. So you can do a review of a product on the show and get paid for that. You have to disclose that, but you can do that. We are charging right now $780. Feature guests, we don't do that, but I have a lot of friends that do. You ask people to pay to be interviewed. There are some show formats where that can go really well. For example, a local show. Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. Around 2,000. Branded content is when the product shows, well, there are different, I'm not going to explain exactly what it is. It's becoming very, very popular. And you either create a piece that looks like your show, but is actually selling something, or you incorporate the product, what we knew as product placement. So, for example, here in Utah, we have a show called Devin Supertramp. He was just sold to a cable TV. He uses Ford. Ford is one of the sponsors for branded content. So his Ford appears in the back. He doesn't talk about it or anything, and he gets paid by Ford. And I could tell you other examples where the content is created around the product. It's becoming very, very popular. Giveaways. So we have that on boomerologyreview.com. We charge $1,500 for a month. Feature recommendations, products are served around 2,000. Sell the show after a season. So whatever you decide is a season, you can put all that into a DVD set and sell that. So there are some out there for $97 per DVD. Leads to consulting. That's a no-brainer. Consulting and speaking engagements, they happen all the time. You decide your starting fee, right? For a beginner, $3,500 would be reasonable in the market. Then you can transcribe, you can repurpose all that, you can have affiliate products. So one thing that we do is our sponsors do not sell to the end consumer at all. So it's just for really branding. But on our store, on the site, we have their products with our affiliate link to Amazon. So when people buy, of course, we make a commission. And because it's in the thousands of people watching, that becomes interesting. Share product sales with interviewees, share viewers to membership, that's common in podcasting, or sell your show to traditional stations. Again, we could talk an hour about that because it's becoming more and more huge out there. I want to give you some examples.
Shahar,
so, go.
And before you give the examples, really quickly, I really like the fact that we can there are so many revenue opportunities by having your show, by becoming the celebrity, without having to do it as a different business. It's just within your business. It's kind of plug and play, and you just do it as it ends up being as a result of, and it's phenomenal for that reason. So keep that in mind. One effort, multiple results. I'm very fond of that thought process. I embrace it.
Yeah. If you didn't have time to write all this, after the presentation, I'll be happy to repeat. Some examples that I want. First of all, Boomerology Review, we understand very well since we are doing that. Boomerologyreviewed.com. Go to the site and take a look later how we are structuring, and you're going to see the different formats for revenue that we have that. And it's good for you to study the different ways you could approach that. It's working, and it's very young as a show. So I would suggest you see. Another one is Awesomeness TV. All these, of course, you can all find them on YouTube and in other places. But Awesomeness TV, it started, actually, the guy that started, he's not even on camera. He hires talent, teenagers. And they talk about their lives and dating and stuff like that. He targets the Ys, the millennials. And it's a huge hit. It became a huge hit on YouTube. Was recently, very recently, like 2 weeks ago, sold for $33 million to DreamWorks. Okay, very simple concept, very simple way of putting those together. There's another, like I said, I would like to talk more about what's going on in this arena because it's so awesome. It gives you so many ideas. Epic Meal Time, that's very cool. It's two guys, right? And they give recipes. You know that cooking is a huge thing. With videos, right? Everybody loves those. But everything they make has bacon in that. And so it's funny because everything has bacon, right? They were sold to traditional TV as well. I watched another one, I can't remember the name, that is two dudes, and the way they make food, and it's kind of disgusting, but they're doing really, really well. It's another one. Story Trek is a local one. The guy has the concept that everybody has a story. So he knocks at doors and starts talking to the person and finds a real cool story without any scripting or knowing the people before. He did that for 2 seasons, and he was finally bought by BYU, and now they got money to travel all over the country and everything. Like I said, Devin Supertramp is also a local one that he was sold to cable TV. So this is happening over and over and over. And then you say, wow, but maybe you already have a show on YouTube, and you say, but this is not good and the light is not good. That's totally okay. Once the money comes in, these are very simple things to solve, and they will take their of you at that point. But I mean, I'm not saying you want to start a show to sell, but I just want you to be aware that's a very, very doable thing today.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Now, it's easy. Like I told you, any camera can do it. You can do it with outdoor light if you don't have lights. You push record. You want to see how you can be in doing a show for 5 months, because I told you consistency is what matters. Let's suppose you're doing 1 show a week. Okay, that's easier with video. You could do every day if you choose to. Gary Vaynerchuk did that for a very long time, and you know the phenomenon he became, and not only in the wine industry, in the wine aficionados, but everywhere. He now has a marketing agency. But that's tougher with video. Your choice. We can discuss that later. But you write that down, a formula by Mike Hennings, actually. You write down 10 questions that people always ask you. Like, we know by heart the ones we get asked every single time, right? There are those questions people ask over and over and over and over. Write those down. And then you write down 10 questions that they should ask, but they never do. We all have those as well. Write that down, right? 1 episode each question. You already have 20 episodes, right? That equals to 5 months. Done. It's that simple. Right? These are things that you're so used to talk about. 10 questions that they ask 10. You wish they would ask, but they never do. 1 episode each. Now, is it going to be 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 20 minutes? Well, in this case, because you want to syndicate everywhere, you're going to go for 15 to 20 minutes. That's the ideal amount of time. Yes, you lose a little bit of viewership online. Really doesn't matter, because the buyers are really on the other platforms. So you go for it. Okay? 20 episodes, 5 months, almost half a year, and that's all you had to do. And then you will see that the other topics come very fast as well. Consistency, like I told you, it's very key, not only because they educate your audience and they get used to come back to you. How difficult is that in marketing today? You know, to create the visibility, get the attention, and having them coming back to you every week. The show can do that, right? So that's why you need to be in this, and you need to really consider very carefully having and starting your own show, right? Because it's online, it's on mobile devices, it's offline, or it's on traditional TV. So why not? And I'm going to tell you right now and now is a perfect time also for you to start asking your questions, so I can answer them right after this. But I'm going to ask you to join me on this journey. We have not only our 3 shows, but we have 6 other show hosts with us. We have 3 more coming, one very cool in the cooking department. And, you know, it is the way everybody should be, but you want to be before everybody, right? Nobody can become a Mary Smith on Facebook anymore. You don't want to this part to be overcrowded, and eventually you will get overcrowded. This is the time for you. So I want you to join me on this. So how? You're going to create your show. We sit down, we talk face to face, face to computer, probably like there's a hangout, and we have a private session where we discuss your ideas. We discuss a little bit of your celebrity package, right? Because we need to have that right. We need to figure out, at least in each step, if you have things kind of on the right track, because we don't want you to fail. And we decide on the topic, and then you go record your first show, okay? And we discuss time and how often and all these things. Okay. Now, while you do that, you have some time to do that. We go and we create the structure that needs to be created for you to be syndicated, right? I am also going to allow you access to a training that we have about the on-demand shows. And there you have step-by-step to a lot of questions that you will have, including the technical part. You know, cameras and recordings and all that kind of stuff that I know it is scary for you, but it's very simple. It's all there. Okay? Your show, once you give it to us, you're going to give it to us on Dropbox or some other way that we are going to agree. We syndicate on Roku, it's a box, over-the-top box, on BlackBerry, on Samsung Blu-ray players, on Windows devices, Apple TV, on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and there are others. So everywhere, right? If you partner with us today, we are going to give you as a bonus the intro and the outro for your show. So you know those 10 to 15 seconds that you have at the beginning and at the end, those make the show looks well packaged. We will create you an animated one. You will have some options to choose. You choose, and we personalize with your picture, your tagline, everything that needs to be there. But we create that. That alone, if you go out there, you're going to see that people charge from $500 to, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000 to do an intro and outro. We'll provide. If you want to create your own, totally okay with that. Then we create the blog just for your show. Understand that because of coding, we need to have a blog just for the show. So we cannot use whatever blog you may be using. We create that for you, consistent with the design that you already have. If you don't have, we create that as well. And we create the show badges, the show posters that are the thumbnails that you need everywhere. So all those three things will come as part of the package as a bonus for you. Now, you need to act fast, and I'm going to say you have about 72 hour stops to go. And if you join us, I will also send you a Roku player in the mail. So if you still don't have a Roku, you're missing out on a big thing here, because I don't even use the TV itself anymore. I turn on my TV and the Roku is on, and I watch everything I want there. So I'll send you one in the mail. If you have one, you can give, maybe to a sweetheart or something. And we will promote your show for our list and social networks. So I will use my Twitter account, my Facebook, to promote your show at the beginning. So you can get that jump start. We have a reach on social media alone of about 100,000 people that we are going to broadcast the show to. Very affordable. The investment here is not a big deal. You have a setup fee of $147. Sorry, dollars. There is an option on the page for you to split that. And then after 60 days, we start the syndication fee. It's only $147 for your investment a month. $147. Okay. You have all the information on startmytvshow.com. startmytvshow.com. Go there, take a look. Now, I told you I would have a surprise for you. If you join today, I will also give you access to our training on how to become irresistible to your market. Okay, very popular training. We sell, and you can go check, buzzboostersuniversity.com. You can go check. It sells, if I'm not wrong, $497. So a very good one. We go through every single step, the irresistible promise, how you create your own voice, how you incorporate mystery and ritual. So we have the whole thing there. I'm going to give you access if you join us today. This special bonus is only for today. Okay, you get access to the irresistible. So where do you have to go? You have to go to startmytvshow.com. Okay, don't forget, it's tax deductible. It's the best investment you can make. You become a celebrity. We are going to work together. And we are going to package you the right way. Like I said, I have a lot of experience in doing that. Once we have the right show, the right topic, you go and record, and then you bring it back, and we start this journey that is going to be amazing. I mean, in 1 hour, I really did some brush strokes on everything that means, but it means a lot. Speaking engagements, being on stage for us is an important thing. We sell very well when we are on stage, and that allows us to be on stage more and more often without having to do really all the work that it takes to most speakers to be invited to speak out there.
And this is, Shahar, this is one thing that, I guess one of the passions, like one of the things that we talk a lot about are the videos, are the shows, and in essence, it's because we've seen so much benefit from doing these, from using these videos and these shows the past few years in our own business. And that's why we believe in it so much and believe it's the fastest way for you to become the celebrity, the authority in your industry. And it's not very difficult for you to become the star of your own show, like Shahar, what you said. Just go to starmytvshow.com, have a look. We're going to, if you've worked with us before, you know, and for those of you who haven't yet, take my word for it. We hold you by the hand. We do as much as we can to guide you through this entire process, which really seems a lot more complicated than it is, because it isn't complicated. We'll structure the show together. We'll figure out who you're talking to, what your message. We'll package it. We'll make it so that you become the celebrity. And then it's just a matter of you going. Then it's the fun part where you just go out and you shoot and you do it. And we take care of getting it out there. And like Shahar said, when you sign up today, you'll get the bonuses. Take advantage of that, of our Irresistible program. That's one of their best-selling programs. It's very in-depth, but very cool, because it allows you to really analyze your business and to figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to position myself. And it answers a lot of those questions that you might have right now. But like Shahar said, it's for today only, this bonus specifically. So starmytvshow.com so you can take advantage of that. And you sign up in the next 72 hours, we'll even get you a Roku box, which I think, hey, it's a great perk. So go for it.
Exactly. And you know, now would be a perfect time for you to write your questions. I'll be happy to answer if you guys have any. But understand that if you don't package yourself right and you don't find yourself a platform, it gets very, very difficult. You have to spend a lot of money and time in order to achieve what you could achieve in a short period of time by doing this. And it's very doable. For example, Lisa Peck, what's the name of her show, Nash?
And before you go there, and that's precisely what I took the advantage. You asked me a question, so that's precisely why I like this, because it is so fast. It's not, you don't. It's just like you said in the beginning, Shahar. Anyone can click play and watch a video. Anyone can sit on their couch and watch it on their TV. They don't have to be connected to you. It's not time consuming for you to do it, and it's the fastest way for you to reach that level. But the name of the show, and to answer your question, is Biz on Your Terms TV.
BizOnYourTerms.tv. She has been doing this, I believe, for about 2 years, right?
Yeah,
and
for a while.
At the beginning, she thought it was going to be this crazy thing, and actually, she went fancy. She hired a production company, and they would come to her house. It was all of this, you know, it was very cool, but very intensive. She would stay 3-4 hours to tape one episode, and we told her more than once, Lisa, this is not sustainable. Let's go simple here. We're going to go further. And you know, fast forward, she finally starts doing herself, camera, sitting on a bench. She does extremely well. You know, the show is doing well. It has traction everywhere. We track, of course, everywhere it goes. It has traction, so it's doing well. Another one, Rock Your Life TV with Paula DeAndrea. Paula is amazing. She's really shifting her life to focus on this, and she's becoming a very good interviewer. She has 2 or 3 episodes that went viral. So, you know, it's simple people that didn't used to do this before, and they start doing it, and then, you know, things start happening, requests for speaking, consulting, and all the rest.
You know what's funny? It's because a lot of times, especially like in the beginning, the barriers are mental barriers. There's just things like, maybe I'm not meant for this, or maybe I can't do it, or you just find all these excuses, or maybe I don't have the right equipment, or whatever it is. But it's in here. Once you start doing it, really, you see it's possible, and that's why when we do it, we make it so that we do we take care of as much of that process as possible, so that you can get your show going. Yeah. Because the fastest you do it, the fastest you have your first episode out, the sooner you'll realize that, hey, you know, this is possible. I can be the star of my own show. I just need to get in front of the camera and do it.
Yes. So, Nasha, while you check if we have any questions, I'm going to just restate the formula and the revenue model so people can write down. But don't forget, startmytvshow.com is the site that you need to go, and go fast.
And if you need to ask your questions, BuzzBooster Live, there's a chat box below the video. Do it there.
Yes, that's the best place. It's a good thing to tell them how to ask the question, right? Because they might be shouting at
Minor detail.
How do I ask the question? Okay, so buzzboosterlive.com, and it loads the chat box, and you can ask your question. So, celebrity formula: promise, your irresistible promise, plus the appeal, plus your unique voice, and plus your platform. So there are 4 things you need to take a look at to create the perfect package for yourself, right? Once you have that perfect package, you have the platform where you distribute your unique voice. So very, very important. More important than the idea for the show. It really is. Because if you don't have that right, and again, we're going to work together to get that right if you don't have it already. Okay, revenue models. I told you there were 17, so I'm going to go through the list so you can write down. Sponsorship is number 1. Number 2, ads on the blog that you have for the show. Like we have the banner ads, for example. You can check the page on Boomerology Review, and there are prices there you can model. Product placement is number 3. Featured guests, number 4. Number 5 is branded content. Number 6, giveaways. Very simple. Even the giveaways, the sponsors provide those to you, right? So the products and everything. 7, feature recommendations, product or service. Number 8, sell show as a package season. 9, leads to consulting. 10, speaking engagements. 11, transcription into products. 12, transcription into online courses. You're doing video, making them into an online course is like a no-brainer. Number 13, affiliate sales, from things you mention on the show or things that you find it related to your audience. Sell live events. You can sell your live events. We did that when we did ours through the show. Share product sales with interviewees. Send viewers to a membership. That's common in podcasting, for example. So you have a membership, and that's how you feed that membership. And number 17, sell your show to traditional stations. This number 17, sell show to traditional stations, and branded content, number 5, are something that are really shifting the industry, and it can become something very interesting for you. So that's my presentation. StartMyTVShow.com is the place where you have to go. I just want to restate, we have meetings together where we design the structure of your show and your packaging as a celebrity. We syndicate the show everywhere for you, and we give you the training on the technical part and what's working or not in this arena. As a bonus, you get your intro and your outro, an animated one. You get a blog just for the show, and you get the badges, the posters for the show. If you invest in this program in 72 hours, you also will receive a Roku player in your home. And if you invest in the next 24 hours, you are also getting access to our Irresistible Business training, training we sell for $497 every day. With that, Nash, do we have questions?
We have a couple questions, Shahar, a couple questions.
Okay.
So remember, startmytvshow.com. Go there, take advantage of this wonderful program. Shahar, a couple questions that we have are, can I reuse videos that I did in the past?
Yes, no problem whatsoever. So, for example, with Montessori for Everybody, what we did was exactly that. She had some footage from the past, and I'm talking about 10 to 15 years. Her husband had to send to digitalize those. But now what they are doing is chopping those segments, right? And adding. So she does the intro. Today we are going to talk about this and that. This is something I recorded in this conference. And then they go, right, and do the show. So yes, you can. And if you, for example, if you're doing online radio or you're doing podcasting already, well, you can get that audio and insert either some video clips or insert some pictures, turn that into a video. It's one way. It's not the best way. We have another show host with Travel for Boomers and Seniors that she does that. She doesn't like to be on camera that much, so she uses a lot of slides. And she used to do, I think, in Animoto, if I'm not wrong. Well, it doesn't get as much traction as when she's on camera. So she's been shifting in that regards, because it gets traction faster if they see your face. But that doesn't mean you cannot use for a while. Start the show, wait for it to get traction. It does take some time to get traction. It's not on the first month, okay? It's real. So it's not magic. It's not marketing gimmick. So we need to be able to reach people, and they start engaging with the show and then with you. So it does take some time,
It
but
takes
you can use those audios with some slides at the beginning, get some subscribers, and then move from there.
You can absolutely repurpose any content that you already have. Like Shahar said, it does take some time, but listen, to get traction, it doesn't take time to get the show going. It takes time to get a little bit of traction, and it's just a little bit of time. It's a process, like she said. In the beginning, maybe just your mom will watch, but then your dad, and then your friends, and so forth, and on it goes, and it grows. But the awesome thing about this is that it's foundational. It stays. It's long lasting. We have videos of ours that have been there since 2008, and now these videos, the wonderful thing is they're still working for us. So sure, we're still launching videos on a weekly basis, but the fact is that these videos are archived in the Roku channel, on YouTube, on iTunes, and so forth. And so on a daily basis, these people are watching, are consuming all of this content that we have prepared. And so we did the work once. Remember what we say, one effort, multiple results. We did the work once, but now it's working for us because it's there. It's, on a daily basis, people are finding depending on their various interests. And so it's there for them. They use it. And while they're watching me, they're not watching anyone else. And how wonderful is that? While they have the attention on me, it's me. It's about me. It's about me and Shahar. It's about the business. It's about the message. It's their attention is unconditional, and it's to us. It's not. They're not on one tab, one click away on Facebook or something like that, where they can be easily distracted. So it's phenomenal for those reasons. Shahar.
Wait. I forgot to say one thing.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
There are some shows that cannot be syndicated like we just said. That's important to take note. If you're talking about tobacco, if you're talking
or drugs in general.
Animal cruelty, and if you use F word all the time, then we cannot syndicate your show because most of the devices do not allow that. They would cancel the channel, for example, our channel. So we don't want to go there, and those shows are not allowed.
Swear words in general, I guess.
Yeah. So it's not like YouTube that you can say whatever you want, the way you want. In these devices, they have to be family friendly.
Yes.
Family friendly. Yeah.
Yes.
The other question is?
No pornography either. I don't know if you mentioned that or not. But
exactly.
All right. So next question is, let's see, how long do my videos have to be?
Yeah, ideally, really around 15 to 20 minutes is the ideal. Now you have exceptions on both sides, over an hour and 2 minutes. The only thing we question is the ones that are very short, because you hear that all the time online that they should be 2 minutes, or it depends a little bit on the audience that you're targeting. Understand one thing, millennials and Gen Xers, they have less attention span than boomers and seniors. So if you're targeting younger generation, you either have to have a shorter show, or the images, the pace of each scene will be shorter. They say 45 seconds per scene, for example. But you have to consider this. When people are watching on the couch, and believe me, even younger people are coming back to the couch to watch, they don't like to be switching every 2 minutes from another episode, you see. So because of that, I would try to have, at least 5 minutes, but I would always go between, the 10 to 20, ideal. Now, you want to go longer. If you can be interesting, engaging, not boring for more than 30 minutes, go for it. There is no problem in there. But there is a problem when it's very, very short. Okay? Have that in mind. And always take in mind, who is your ideal client? Are they used to watch shows or not? Do they like fast-paced things or not? Because that will be part of your show. Any something else? No?
Yes, one more. Let's see. How fast is it to get my show going? Good question.
How fast can you tape your show?
Yeah.
We do, with the blog and everything else, we do take 4 weeks. Okay? 4 weeks to get our side of the equation ready. So you have 4 weeks to get the first one going.
We have to program it into our channels and all that. So it takes us that little bit of setup, which for you is perfect because it gives you 4 weeks to get your show going, to start recording all that.
Yeah, and we always advise people to try to have at least 3 shows ready, because then you're 3 weeks ahead of the game. If life happens, you have vacation in Yellowstone and you cannot record there, you still have those other 2 in the can, like they used to say, so you're fine. It's very bad when you give those hiatus in the show. It happens. Like last week, I didn't have any voice at all. The Buzz Booster one didn't go because we had to record. We were late with that one. But we usually have 3 or 4 already done, so we have the time. So that's an important point.
Consistency matters, but we'll show you things that you can do to make it so that you can make it easier for you for work-wise. So like Shahar said, we'll record 3 episodes in one day or something like that, so that gives us like a month of episodes already. But I will say this, it takes us, because we mentioned the setup fee, like the setup time, like about 4 weeks, and the time that you will take to record that, which will be during those 4 weeks. But do keep something in mind. The moment you get started, so you start today, we'll schedule a meeting for like next week so that we can start talking about this, so that we can outline your show, we get you pumped, we'll figure out the message, and we'll outline the details that we need to know in order to actually get started. So in reality, you'll get started right away.
Yes, and it's important to understand you'll be talking to us, directly to us, not anybody in the company.
No.
Yeah, and then you have 60 days to start investing in the syndication itself. So it gives you flexibility. If you're the go-getter and you can have the show tomorrow, fantastic. We just have to get our stuff in place for you to be syndicated. But if you need more time, you have fear in the process, or you don't have all the things ready, then you have 60 days. Like I said, the investment is really, really small. For you to have an idea, if you go to your local station and try to have a show on your local station that will reach a very small audience, like in markets like here, you're lucky that if you reach 2,000 people with a show on the local TV station. That would cost you around $2,000 a month. And for not being able, if you go to a radio station that is local, you're also talking about that amount. And again, very limited reach. Here you have a humongous reach, and you're doing 847. You can split that, and then you wait 60 days to start doing the syndication, 147. That's at least 10 times less than you would pay in traditional media. But when it's local, we actually offer a lot more reach than they do. And if you ever did radio in your life, it's powerful. It works. I'm telling you, on-demand TV works even better.
Yes, and it's not just once. It's not just, okay, we'll air it for 30 seconds and it's gone. No, it stays there. It stays there forever. And so, like I mentioned with our videos since 2008, they keep working for you. Phenomenal. So, Shahar, I have a question. I like the question. I think it's funny. It's not meant to be funny. But anyway, can I have a show if I'm an accountant?
That's funny. We had that conversation yesterday, remember? Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. Actually, there is an accountant. He did a web show on YouTube only, but became very successful. We have to take the boring part, and there are some professions that are more boring than others, but totally yes. Again, you start with those 10 questions and the other 10 questions, and there you go. We can make it be very interesting.
Yeah, it does. The industry itself doesn't really matter in that regard. It's how you tell it, and we're wired for storytellers since a very young age, and so it's just a matter of figuring out how we're going to tell that story and making it interesting. But it's absolutely doable.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Let me do a final check just to make sure.
While she does that, startmytvshow.com is the place you should be going right away. Don't forget, 24 hours, the bonus of you having access to the Irresistible training goes away. 72 hours, your Roku box, you don't get that either. So you have to act fast, change things. Change is good.
That's right. Now is the time. Take action. Take advantage of these awesome bonuses that we're giving when you sign up today. Go there, startmytvshow.com. Let's do this.
Yes. So I think I'll see you next time then.
We'll see you next time.